Hi guys, so today I'm doing a redesign of Draculaura because a lot of people, well not a lot of people, but I've been getting a lot of comments, requests and stuff, and I saw one that was like, ooh, it'd be cute to do like Monster High and Ever After High redesigns. And with Ever After High, I'm not really sure what I could even do with them because the thing about Ever After High is they're princesses. So I'm not really sure, they're like royals and fairy tales, so I'm not even really sure how I would spin them. But with Monster High, they're supposed to be like monsters but like stylish and in high school and like super cool. Maybe if I did Ever After High, I would like actually downgrade their outfits, I guess, because like the thing about Ever After High and the problem with them with a lot of their dolls is that all of the dolls are so fancy looking that, and that's like a good thing in the sense that it makes them look really nice. They make them really high quality and worth the price. But the problem is that when they're that fancy, then their even fancier dolls don't really stand out that much because it's like they're all equally fancy, and it's like you can't really make a prom dress more prom dressy when they're already in prom dresses. I'm like prom, but that's like the vibe. That's what I'm thinking. But like with Monster High, the thing is their fashions more closely reflect like real world modern fashions, at least for the time. But with Ever After High, it's more costumey, so it's like what would I do with them to, but yeah, I'm thinking maybe I would downgrade them and like make like a more modern twist on their fairy tale designs, and then maybe at some points I'll redesign their like more fancier outfits to reflect a more, I guess, to make it like an upgraded but make it more cohesive with the original design. Also, if you notice like I'm scrolling up and down a lot, it's because it wasn't recording basically. Like earlier when I drew this, well last night I drew this and I had a slightly different design, but basically I drew Draculaura, I had her sketched, I had her lined, halfway lined, and it did not record. I went to go make dinner, I'm looking to save the thing, and I'm looking in the thing to check to see how it came out. It's not even recorded. So I'm like, oh my god. After dinner, I go and I'm like, okay, I'm going to redo it. I erased the old line art, and I slightly edited the sketch, and I was recording myself editing the sketch. The sketch was not recorded. I was recording myself doing the line, and it was not recorded. So I'm like, okay, I'm like sitting there checking to make sure it was absolutely recording this time. And it finally recorded. But like, it was such a pain in the neck. I basically scrapped like a halfway done picture just so I could have some recorded footage, like anything, because I didn't want this video to just be me coloring. I wanted to at least have like something else. So anyways, with Draculaura's design, you probably noticed the vibe I'm going for, like more of an e-girl thing. Because you know, Draculaura, she's the blueprint. Like all these little e-girls and all them on TikTok, they wish they had what Draculaura had. And that's like really trending right now. So I decided to go with something like that. That was like much more, like it fits her, I feel like. Because you know, Draculaura's thing is like she's got that gothic aesthetic, but like in a very cutesy way. Like she is so cute, and like the only thing I can think of that would be more cutesy than that would be like Lolita. But the thing about Lolita is I feel like it's not quite trendy anymore. Like even it was not super trendy in Japan when we got into it in the West. But I feel like right now a lot of like a lot of fashion people, J-fashion people, they're kind of getting over the Lolita thing. Like I feel like the Lolita communities are a lot smaller than they were when I was younger. Like people were a lot more excited back then, but maybe that's a good thing, I don't know. But I feel like it's a lot, maybe it's because a lot of the people who are really into it, they start to realize how expensive the hobby really is and all that. But like with Draculaura, I felt like I really wanted to do for Monster High like a more modern take of like a high school thing. And I don't really see that many teenagers doing like a super elaborate Lolita look for like a modern thing. Plus it's a fashion doll, and as much as I would love to have a Lolita style fashion doll, I feel like if I was to design a fashion doll, I would go with something more cutting edge and closer to what like teenagers these days are dressing like teenagers and young adult fashion. You know, honestly, I feel like a lot of the trends, like back in the day, fashion dolls really affected more like college age trends and stuff like that. Like when I was a kid, I didn't know nobody who really dressed like Bratz dolls, like not even really any high schoolers, but older people and celebrities, sure, like they definitely were dressing like Bratz dolls. But I feel like nowadays, since fashion trends are so much more accessible, and then you can like watch YouTube gurus to teach you how to do makeup, there's like all these shops you can order from super cheap and easily, and it'll be like so much easier for people to order clothes and all that. It's like kind of normalized to be able to just get things so quickly, so easily, that it's a lot easier for teenagers and kids to just order a whole bunch of clothes from like AliExpress or something and be trendy. But like when I was a kid, we had to rely on these magazines, and the internet was still really new. We didn't really know where to go to look for fashion trends and all that. And there wasn't that many, like makeup is really huge now. That was not really a thing when I was a kid. Like it was mostly like comedy skits when I was a kid. Like people trying to be viral and make their videos into a meme, but not really like tutorials. I really don't remember that many tutorials when I was a kid, but maybe that was just the vibe. Like everyone was trying to be funny. Trying to keep the color scheme basically the same. I'm not trying to stray too far away from the original color scheme. Like for me, this is like my idea. It's like a redesign, but also it's kind of my idea of what if I rebooted Monster High and like made it like my own modern take on it. Although I feel like if I was rebooting it for real, I might want to change the colors, but like her thing is pink. She has to be pink. Anyways, I was thinking like my hair is like Draculaura core right now. I have colored my bangs and the sides of my hair pink. And it took, honestly, I bought so much bleach and dye, and I feel like the little amount of hair that I actually dyed used so much of it. My hair's really long though, like not super duper long, but it's pretty long now and it's pretty thick. Like the hair itself is really fine and thin, but I have a lot of it. One thing I wish I really did was when I did the line art that I fixed the thickness of the lines, because I feel like I gave up like halfway through. I mean, it's mostly because I had to do the lines twice though, but I didn't really try as hard as I would like to get the lines accurate to the original art, because that's one thing I really like to do when I do designs and stuff. Like sometimes I don't, but sometimes I do, and since this is my idea of like my own reboot, I really wanted to do like my own take on the designs and like make it look official. So I wanted to copy the art style, but I didn't do quite as good of a job as I would like with the line art because it's not quite thick enough. And you can tell I kind of gave up at some point just because I had to do the lines twice. It's like nobody wants to do that. Nobody. Honestly, Draculaura looks really cute with just all black hair. Like I kind of like that. And one thing I did just to make the design, I thought to make it more visually interesting, is I gave her a plaid skirt. Because I just thought it would like really break apart the monotone colors, and it would just make her look more visually interesting. Like there's more going on, because I didn't want her design to be super elaborate, because again, I was thinking from the perspective of a doll design, like if this was a real doll. And real dolls, detailed designs, like all those little details, if you're trying to get super detailed designs with like a whole bunch of little things, then you're looking for like $50, $100 collector dolls. And something like this is a lot more simple. Even if it is a lot more detailed than like Barbies right now, it's still realistic to have for a doll in comparison to, I'm sorry, I'm like having a brain fart. In comparison to like a super elaborate thing with like a million chains and like levels and levels of floof. Like I know there are doll people who do that, but like if you follow a lot of doll people who like make their own doll designs and then sell the dolls, those dolls be like $200 a piece. So that's the price for the level of detail and quality. And they have to do it, like, I know it's by hand, but I feel like when you're doing super intricate details, a lot of that stuff has to be done by hand anyways. Like a super intricately detailed, even collector doll has to be done by hand, just because of all the high amount of details that can get stuck in the machines, and like the machines can't handle it. But yeah, did any of y'all collect Monster Highs as a kid? I didn't. Monster High came out in 2010. I was already in high school. And I was a Bratz kid when I was growing up. Like, I was really into Bratz. And Bratz came out in 2001. But around 2010, like right before that, that was when Bratz had that whole lawsuit thing with Mattel, where Mattel was trying to sue them for stealing their ideas because the guy who designed the Bratz had a job at Mattel, and they said that since you were working with Mattel, your design belonged to Mattel, even though he didn't even make it for Mattel. It was so stupid. But basically, that lawsuit, Mattel won at first, and Bratz was taken off the shelves, but I didn't know, like, what was going on at the time. I just knew that Bratz was off the shelves, and it was replaced with these Moxie girls. And I did not like Moxie girls growing up. Even now, I still don't really care for them. Like, I own one, and I wasn't super impressed by her. But, like, maybe if I see like, one of the nicer lines, I'll feel a little bit differently. But I wasn't super impressed. Anyways, when I saw them Moxie girls on the shelves instead of the Bratz, I was, like, really annoyed. And it was already, my local Toys R Us already closed. So, at this point, I was going all the way across, like, town. Like, I lived in Chicago at the time. And the closest Toys R Us to me was all the way in North Riverside, which is pretty far away. Like, that was, like, a whole trip. For like that was like a whole day thing. We was like going there to have fun for the whole day kind of thing. So we would go all the way out our way, like for birthdays or stuff, to check out the local Toys R Us. Not even local. And then like there was no Bratz, so I stopped caring about dolls. Just stopped caring. And then by the time Monster High came on the shelves, I was long over it, and it was like 2010. I was a sophomore in high school, so I didn't even collect them. But I like them. I like them now. I have mostly Claudines and one Honey Swamp. I don't own any Draculauras, though, even though she's so cute. Anyways, that was Draculaura's redesign. I hope you guys liked it. I'm gonna do... Well, I already finished Frankie and Claudine. I just need to do the voiceover, but when I was putting them all together, it was just such a long video that I was like, okay, I gotta separate this because the people aren't gonna want to sit here for like a whole hour to watch it. Like, it was getting really, really long, so... I'll see you guys in the next 2 or 3 videos because I got a whole lineup coming up. I'm sorry for not uploading in a while, but hopefully this makes up. And if you like this video, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys. I love you so much. Bye-bye. Mwah.